considering the fact that Matthew Heineman, this is his first narrative,
Yeah.
correct? So, you know, I think the big difference is a narrative filmmaker creates a world, and a documentary filmmaker captures a world. And,
Yes.
and it's a big distinction when it comes to how you want to collect the story.
Nice image.
Was there any worry that he would be able to tell when you were acting versus when you were feeling it?
That's a good question. I mean, I think that's always my touchstone. I'm sort of unable, sort of pathologically unable to pretend emotion when I'm on screen. I find it, you know, the deep fear, of course, is you're asking everything to collide in a moment to make a moment real. And the fear is always that it won't happen in the moment.
It won't show up.
And it won't show up. But you can't, I have no trick to recruit it. I have no trick to pretend it. So, you know, there are scenes in this film where, you know, perhaps right before the take that's actually in the film, I've gone to Matt and said, I can't find it. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like a fraud. I don't know who I am. Yeah. And I think particularly, as you say, because he's used to observing, you know, real moments. And you think, what is the place of performance in a film like this, where I must say that, you know, he is in part creating worlds and in part capturing worlds, and the blend is extraordinary because the people who populate our movie are Syrian refugees for whom this is their very, very recent lived memory. And there was a scene that we do in a clinic where we a makeshift clinic, you know, they had no hospitals, very few medical supplies. Marie did a famous broadcast which went out with Anderson Cooper on CNN, and she showed this footage of this young baby dying of a gunshot wound. And it was very shocking and upsetting, but we recreated that footage, and the man who was playing the father was a Syrian man from Homs who had had his nephew shot off his shoulders at a protest rally, and that child had bled to death, and he saw our baby, our young child, on the bed, and he'd come in as the father, and then as the doctor, you know, the doctor actor said, you know, there's nothing we can do. This man, just this grief welled up in this man, and it was the whole atmosphere was electric. It was so painful because this was, you know, and but Matt's experience at that, he can hold it, but it was, you thought, how do I occupy the same room as this level of felt, lived grief? There is no place for pretense in a room where that is happening.
Right.
You know, and I thought, you know, who am I here? I don't know whether I have a right to be in this room with this.
Even making the film, you felt that?
Yes. You know, I'm here witnessing this because this is what Marie would have done, but I'm not Marie. And yet, so where do I put these feelings? And Matt said to me, you know, you're just experiencing what documentary makers experience all the time, which is that your human instinct is to walk away and give someone space, and yet your obligation as a filmmaker is to keep watching, keep listening, keep the camera rolling. And I thought, I can't fake any feeling in this movie. You know, I have to, you know, and because I sort of I felt I sort of got out of the way of it, and I felt total trust in Matt and in Bob Richardson, the cameraman. I just kind of let it all, I just let stuff happen and trusted that it might be right, that it would be right.
Hey folks, thanks for watching. If you like what you just saw, then why not subscribe? Click right here for lots more off camera. And if you want to see the hour-long version of these conversations, I'm going to give you the secret link. Here it is, offcamera.com. Check it out.